Hey y'all, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amber and I love all things handbag related, with a little bit of emphasis on the brand Vera Bradley. I also do a little bit of content related to concealed carry and how that works with all these beautiful bags that I love. So if any of that sounds good to you, then stick around and let's hang out. So today, I thought we would do something fun and a little bit just frivolous. So if you've been watching my videos, then I'm sure that at some point you have heard me mention how I also watch some luxury YouTubers that talk about luxury handbags and things like that. Well, at some point while I was watching them, I ran across this video that was titled something to the effect of, if I could only keep 5 luxury handbags in my collection, which ones would I keep? Or something to that effect. And I ended up seeing several of those from different creators and things like that. And I thought it would be really fun to adapt that to our community. So that's what we're going to do today. If for some reason I decided to only keep 5 handbags in my collection, which 5 would I keep? So the 5 Vera Bradley handbags that I would keep in my collection if I could only keep 5. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start throwing a bunch of other creators that I know of that make Vera Bradley content as well up on the screen. And this is me officially tagging you guys to do this video if you want to. If you don't want to, you absolutely don't have to, but I just think it would be fun. And I thought the interesting part about this was that if you watch luxury YouTubers, if somebody has a handbag collection of 20 luxury bags, that's a really good, decent sized luxury handbag collection, right? And if they have 40 or 50 luxury handbags, then that's a really large luxury handbag collection. So when they were picking only 5 of their bags to keep, while the choice, I'm sure, was still really, really difficult, it's nowhere near as difficult as it could be for us. A lot of us have hundreds of these bags, or a lot more than 20 or 30 or 40 or 50. I know personally I have well over 200 handbags in my collection. I've lost count at some point, so I don't know the exact number, but I do know that I have over 200 just in my collection alone. So narrowing that down to only 5 is really, really hard. And for some of y'all that also make this kind of content, your collections are even much larger than mine. So I know that narrowing it down to only 5 of your handbags is going to be even harder for you than it was for me. So with all of that said, let me tell you the parameters that I went with, just to make this a little bit easier, maybe not quite as complicated. So right off the bat, I eliminated travel bags and backpacks. That way we are only sticking with handbags and totes, or just handbags for the most part. If you choose to do this video, you can include whatever you want, and you don't have to stick to Vera Bradley if you don't want to. You can include any brand that you so desire. I just chose to go with 5 Vera Bradley bags because Vera Bradley is by far the largest portion of my collection. So I eliminated travel bags and backpacks. So I am sticking with what I could consider a handbag. And again, you do it however you want to. I also went ahead and decided that I was going to pick my 5 bags based on a category type system, if you will. So if you choose to do this, you can absolutely follow my categories if you wish, or you can just pick your 5 favorite handbags, or the 5 you think are the most beautiful, or the 5 that are most practical for you. Choose however you wish. This is just how I decided to do it for myself. So I picked 5 categories and I've got 1 handbag for each category, so that's how I decided to pick it. So I've got my handy dandy little notebook with all of my notes here so that I remember where I'm at, because this was really hard to pick just 5. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my first category, which is an everyday bag. So for my everyday bag, I wanted something that was a really good medium size. I didn't want it to be too small or too large. I wanted to make sure that it would be durable, long lasting. I wanted a pattern that I felt like I could transition year round, because I don't actually care about pattern versus season. But if I had to narrow my collection down to only 5, I would kind of want my everyday bag to be as versatile as possible. So medium size, durable, something I find beautiful and that works for me really, really well day to day. So my pick for my everyday bag is my Vera Bradley Performance Twill on the Go in Seawater Blues. So if for some reason you're unfamiliar, this has a long, adjustable but not removable shoulder crossbody strap. The outside has a zip pocket right here with really, really nice smooth zippers. 2 side pockets, one here, and then a slip pocket on the back with a magnetic closure. Now the Performance Twill material right here is pretty thick, so this magnet is not the strongest by any means, but it is still there, so it does give a little bit of added security. The inside is your standard 2-in-1. 2 slips right here, 1 zipper pocket right there. Again, my pick for my everyday handbag would be the Vera Bradley Performance Twill on the Go in Seawater Blues. Okay, my next category that I went with was the Workhorse, meaning I wanted a bag again that was going to be really durable, that I could use year round, that would hold a little bit more than my everyday bag, but still not be overwhelming, that I could use for every day if I wanted to, that I could use for maybe a little bit more special occasion or what have you. Just a bag that was all around, that I could use for just about any purpose, whether it be shopping, going to the grocery store, my kids' activities with school, PTA meetings, family gatherings, whatever the situation could call for, a bag that could hold all of my essentials. Did I even say that right? A bag that could hold all of my essentials and a little bit more if I needed it to, just the workhorse that I feel like does it all for me in my life. So for that category, I picked my Vera Bradley multi-strap shoulder bag. Y'all know, if you've been watching my videos, you knew you were going to see this bag in here somewhere. I love it. So if you're unfamiliar, this bag has 2, I would consider them handles. Yeah. So if you're unfamiliar, this bag has 2 handles right here. This is mainly, hand carry or crook of the arm, because you could get them over your shoulder, but it's pretty tight. The front has a really nice magnetic slip pocket right here that does go from the bottom, or to the bottom, I apologize, and then from seam to seam. There's also the long, adjustable, removable shoulder crossbody strap. Back here you do have another pocket, but it's just a slip pocket, and it's basically only large enough for like a cell phone. It just goes, it's this wide, but it does pretty well go to the bottom. You have a little tiny bit of a recessed zipper on top, not terrible. And then again, your standard 2-in-1 configuration. One zipper, one zip pocket, and I can't look at where I'm going. 2 slip pockets. It's a little dark in there, but the 2 slip pockets. So again, the bag that I chose to be my Workhorse all-around do-it-all bag, the Vera Bradley Performance Twill multi-strap shoulder bag in Tranquil Gray. I don't know if I said that the first time, but this is Tranquil Gray. A fabulous color for year-round. I really like it. Okay, the next category that I went with was a tote. Even though a tote isn't something that I use a whole lot of anymore, I still wanted to keep a good tote in my collection. If I had to downsize to only 5, I would want a tote still. Just because they're great. They're great for those situations where you need more. Anytime my daughter has something maybe at school going on and I need to take extra supplies or extra things to her classroom, or if we're maybe going to see some relatives that are a little bit further away and I need to pack a few extra things that I couldn't get in my just normal everyday bag, or whatever the situation may call for, I still wanted to keep a tote in my collection. And this should come at no surprise to y'all, but the one I decided on was my brand new Vera Bradley Vera Tote in Pretty Posies Pink. Now, I will say that I still have an issue I need to take care of regarding this tote, but this is still the one that I would keep. I think it's gorgeous. I am generally not a pink person by any means, but there's something about this pattern that I just think is absolutely stunning. So we're all familiar with the Vera tote, but just on the off chance that you're not, it has one zipper pocket right here that goes from seam to seam to the bottom. Directly behind that, you have a slip pocket. Nothing on the back. 2 shoulder straps, and these do have a really good drop. They're perfect length. And then up here at the very top on the back side, you have kind of a hidden slip pocket. No magnetic closure or anything with that. It's just a slip pocket. And then the interior has 6 slip pockets that go around the entire inside of the bag there. So the tote that I chose to keep, if I could only keep 5 bags in my collection, is the Vera Bradley Vera Tote in Pretty Posies Pink. Alright, the next category that I chose was a bag that I could use for special occasions. So for this category, I did want to choose something a little bit smaller, not teeny tiny because I can't do teeny tiny, but something that was a little bit smaller, a little bit dressier, something that I could use for things like a wedding or a nice dinner somewhere, or God forbid it, but a situation like a funeral, because unfortunately things like that happen and it is what it is. But I wanted to pick a bag that I could use for special occasions and times that I didn't need to carry as much, but something, I still wanted to pick something that I could transition over into an everyday bag if I really wanted to, but something that I could just definitely use for more special occasions where I didn't need to carry as much, and it maybe needed to look a bit dressier than our average cotton performance twill type Vera Bradley bags. So the one that I chose for my special occasion bag is my Vera Bradley carry-all leather mini Carson shoulder bag. I think that's the full official name, but I will put it up on the screen either way. So with this bag, you have one strap. Now, this is adjustable with a buckle, which isn't my favorite adjustment by any means, but this does work perfectly fine for me. This strap is also removable. Now, it doesn't come with any other strap with it. Well, of course I said, well, anyway, it doesn't come with any other kind of strap other than this long one. But because it is removable, that does mean that you could take this strap off and add your own aftermarket type strap if you wanted to. The front of this is quilted. The flap right here is quilted. The rest of the bag is not. It's just in a really smooth, nice leather. So, if you're unfamiliar, this is designed exactly like the cotton mini Carsons. It has a magnetic snap right here, and I do have this bag stuffed because it's leather and I want it to not crumble into a big mess. But it just has one big large open slip pocket right here, and that pocket does go to the bottom and from pretty well side to side. The back has a magnetic slip pocket, and I forgot the sides and the bottom are quilted as well. And then the inside of this one, again, is just your 2-in-1, 2 slip pockets and 1 zip. And I do have it stuffed again, but there's that interior pattern, which I think is really, really pretty. It's a different coloration of the medallion prints, like the charcoal medallion, lilac medallion, but I think it's really pretty. And this bag is small enough that I do feel like I could use it for special occasions or, you know, a nice dinner out. I have it adjusted to the second strap from the top. So you still have, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 more holes down through here that you could adjust it down. So you can wear it as a longer shoulder bag like that, or you can crossbody it. And it's a great little size, something that I think would, you know, I have used this for a few dinners when we went out and things like that, and it's a great little occasion bag. I don't use it all the time because the leather is heavier, but I do think it has a nice quality, and I do really like this handbag. So the bag that I chose for my special occasion bag, again, is the Vera Bradley leather carry-all mini Carson shoulder bag in black. So for the very last category, I chose a wild card bag. And what I mean by that is that maybe it's not the most practical for me, but it's just a bag that I love. And actually, it is a really practical bag. It works really well for me. I don't know why I said that, but I picked this one solely based on pattern because I just love the pattern. And if I had to go down to only 5 bags in my entire collection, I would not want to get rid of this pattern. So I debated a really long time, you guys, on this bag, this wildcard bag, because I have a few vintage bags that have a lot of sentimental value to me, like the very first 1 or 2 bags that I got in my Vera Bradley collection, some that my parents had bought me when I was like a young teenager, just some of my more vintage bags, and those do have a lot of sentimental value to me, and I would not want to get rid of them. But if it really came down to it and I could only keep 5, I don't use those vintage bags anymore. So I decided instead of holding on to one for sentimental value, I was just going to pick something that was in a pattern I loved just because I love the pattern, but a bag that I still use, if that makes sense. Because there are a lot of vintage patterns that I really, really love, but I've had those bags for so long that I've pretty well semi-retired them. Because I used them so much in the past that I'm a little bit afraid to use them anymore because they may just fall apart on me at any moment. So they're really just still in my collection because of the sentimental value. So my wild card bag was something that I picked simply because I love the pattern, I love the bag, and I still use it. So that's why I went with this bag. The one that I chose to keep, and I'm going to give y'all fair warning, this bag is rough. You're going to be able to tell that I really used it. So, the one I chose to keep for my wild card bag is my small Vera Tote in Sure Thing. Now, I kept this one simply because I love the pattern, and I think it's absolutely adorable. And I don't know if this will come through on camera in the video, but this bag is so faded and used, you guys. If you look right here on this front zipper pocket, the little pleather pull that used to be on it, that was like this one, the little loopy pleather pull, it started fraying because I had used this bag so much, and it was looking a lot worse for wear. So I just cut it off and just put a piece of blue ribbon on it myself. And I couldn't care less because I still think it's super cute. So, you know, we all know this pattern. It's got the little sea creatures in it. There's the seahorse and some of the little fish. And my personal favorite is the turtle. I love the turtle. So, anyway, this is your standard small Vera tote. Again, that zipper pocket right here on the front from seam to bottom. Slip pocket directly behind it. Your two shoulder straps that have pretty much the same drop as your regular Vera tote. The hidden slip at the back. And then your 6 interior slip pockets. So, like I said, this bag has seen better days. I've washed it several times because I've used it so much. It actually doesn't seem to have any corner wear yet, which is amazing, honestly. But it is definitely faded, and it's, you know, it's a little bit floppier than how they are when you get them brand new, for sure. But I just love this pattern, and every time I look at it and use it, it makes me happy. And so this was my wild card bag. The Vera Bradley Small Vera Tote in Sure Thing. So that's it, y'all. If I had to downsize my entire Vera Bradley collection to only 5 bags, those are the 5 that I would keep, I think. I'm still wavering on my decisions, if I'm being honest with you. I still keep going back and thinking, well, I don't know, I might switch this one out for that one. But I'm a really indecisive person in general, so that's what I'm sticking with it. Those are the 5 that I'm going to stick with. Like I said, I did think about pulling in some more vintage patterns and things like that I really, really like. Mocha Rouge is not a vintage pattern, but it's a pattern that I really, really like. Clementine is not really vintage, but it's a pattern that I really like. I like the pattern Heather. I like Yellowbird. I like the very first bag that I ever got from Vera Bradley was in a pattern called Red Coin. And I'll put a picture of it up on the screen in case you're not familiar. But that was my first bag was a 100 handbag in one of the vintage versions. I'll try to find a picture of the exact bag I'm talking about and put it up on screen. And I still to this day I love that. It's probably because it was my very first Vera Bradley bag, but I still love that pattern. One of the next bags that I ever got from Vera was in Mod Floral Pink, and I still absolutely love that pattern as well. There are so many that it really truly is hard to narrow it down. But I decided to pick my 5 based on bags that I am still currently using, as opposed to going with some of the vintage bags and styles that I have. Even though I love them so much, I don't necessarily use them in my rotation currently. So thinking about it logically, if I had to narrow it down to only 5 bags and only keep 5, then I would want those 5 styles to be something that I was still going to use, and not just 5 handbags that would be sitting out just for me to look at. I would still want them to be practical bags that I would use currently. So that's why I decided to go with newer prints and styles and things like that, just because they are the bags that I am using currently. I still love my vintage bags. I just, like I said, I've used them so much, y'all. I'm afraid that if I snagged the wrong thread, it might just unravel the whole daggone thing. Then the whole bag would be gone. So anyway, those are the 5 bags that I decided to pick for my if I could only keep 5 Vera Bradley bags in my collection video. So I challenge you guys to tell me, if you could only keep 5 bags out of your entire collection, which 5 would it be? Regardless of brand or anything like that, you just what 5 bags would you keep out of your collection and why? So leave me a comment below and let me know what your 5 bag choices would be. And again, I'll put all those channel names back up on the screen really quickly. If you have your own channel on YouTube, or you want to create your own channel on YouTube and do this kind of content, then I challenge you to do this video. I tag you. Tell me the 5 bags that you would keep if you had to narrow your collection down to only 5. That's crazy because we have so many of these. It's so hard to pick. Anyway, that's my video for today, y'all. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it fun and entertaining and maybe a little bit thought-provoking. Which 5 bags would I keep? Anyway, I hope that you all are having a fabulous day. I hope that all your dreams come true this year, and that it's just, God, I hope coronavirus just leaves. Anyway, I'm done. I'm going to zip it. Well, we know I could ramble for hours, but I'm going to zip it. I'm done. So, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope you had fun. If you have any comments or questions, or you just want to say hello, absolutely leave me a comment below. Don't forget to let me know which 5 bags you want to pick too. Also, I have started including my email down below, so if you want to shoot me an email, absolutely do that by all means. I truly love and enjoy talking to you guys, so don't forget to leave me a comment below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all.